Welcome to 817 Day, celebrating 817. I am Amber Morgan from the Sisterhood Foundation. This is also a celebration of Sister Sunday, where we unite the women in the community to talk about different issues. And today's topic is a parenting roundtable. To start off today, we're going to do a Marcus Garvey tribute by Kojak, and then we'll go into our parenting roundtable, about 15 to 20 minutes of dialogue about parenting. And then we'll go into the intro of our businesses, where each of our vendors, business owners will get up and have the opportunity to speak about their business and what they have. And then we'll do a business roundtable towards the end to kind of network and talk about businesses. So thank y'all all for coming and showing up and participating. And let's get this show on the road with Mr. Kojak. Kojak, you want the mic? You want me to move it up?
Oh, no, I don't think I need it. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Or yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. Hello? Hello? Yo, how y'all doing today?
Fine.
Good. So basically, I'm gonna just kind of talk briefly about what Marcus Garvey was and what he kind of like represented. For y'all who not really familiar with it, they call today today is 817 day. I think it's actually also Marcus Garvey's birthday, right? And so we celebrating Fort Worth 817, which is the area code for the city of Fort Worth. And the birthday of Marcus Garvey. So Marcus Garvey was originally from Jamaica.
Right.
He's a Jamaican immigrant. And he had a strong philosophy that black people were in control of their own destiny. And the best way to do that was to work togetherness. And so one thing that we have to take from Garvey's legacy is working together and building business. Business is a big thing. The Black Star Expo is a play off of Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line. The Black Star Line is or ships that he actually bought to transport people back to Africa. Ironically, since he was not a Navy man or a sailor or anything like that, he purchased some ships that pretty much wasn't any good. So he ended up, well, actually, what happened was the government, in natural form, they came to him, and because back then the way they raised money, it was through letters, and people sent in donations from all over the world, from all over to the point that he was able to secure millions of dollars in funds, actually, and this is also why they sent him to jail, because they said that it was the way that he acquired the funds was I guess like what they would call it today, a misappropriation of funding. Say for instance, if you had a 501c3 and you asking for money, right? You asking for donations or whatever. You have to show where this money is coming from and how it's being utilized. So back then they used that information to make him be like so quote unquote a criminal or whatever, and it kind of like put a damper on the movement. But Garvey had a very, I guess, powerful presence or aura, if you will. Like yesterday, I was telling a lot of people don't know. You always see him. It's a picture of him over there. He has military regalia on, as if though he's a colonel or something in the army. But in truth, this man ain't in the military at all. But it was to give a visual image of superiority so that you would listen. Because if you dress the part and look the part, then the people will be more inclined to listen to you and maybe feel that there's some authority that you may have and you may be accurate in the things that you're saying. So it was like back then it was a play on marketing, if you will. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Marcus Garvey was a really cool guy, in my opinion. Let's see what else about Garvey that's cool. So the United Negro Improvement Association is the UNIA. That's the organization that he started. If you see pictures of this back in the day, it will be similar to kind of like the Nation of Islam. Because the women used to wear white and they were separated from one another, meaning like the women did their thing and the men did their thing, right? but it was all an organization with one cause, one voice, one sound, one like a band. You feel me? So a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, we could also look at them almost like ushers in the church. The ladies, like they wear the white with the, you know what I mean? And it was a very regal thing that they were doing. And it was like this pride that was instilled in the people. And they moved collectively in a way and in a manner that it was very, let's say, influential in the black community. All the way up from the early 1900s, all the way to the 1960s. So let's look at the decline of black business, right? The decline of black business. The decline of black business started with what? The civil rights movement, right? These children at North Carolina, right? They thought that it would be a good idea to protest the fact that they were not able, Jim Crow laws. Y'all know what Jim Crow laws are, right? Basically, no Negroes, white only water fountains. We don't serve Negroes here, right? So these college students, I guess we'll charge it to their heart and not their mind, because in actuality, their thesis was not accurate in no form or fashion. Because before this time, black people dealt with black people. They had no choice. You had to go deal with black businesses. You had to, because the white people wouldn't allow you to spend your money with them, which probably is not very smart. And I'm sure, I don't know if this is a fact, but I'm sure someone was like, hey, man, you got a business. Why are you turning away money? And then you turning away money from a group of people that's doing very well. These people rich, bro. These people got money, man. And you telling them they can't eat here? That's kind of dumb. And then the guy was like, you know what, you're right. I am open to business. I am here to make money. You know what? Let me take this silly sign down. Hey, I love you guys. Come in here and you can spend your money. You can sit down and eat lunch. You can do whatever you want. You ain't got to go through the back door. You don't got to do none of that. So now, again, it's all about state of mind and the things that you see and what you feel, right? So now we equal. Oh, I can go eat with Master. I can go eat with Susie Q now. So now Uncle John barbecue ain't good no more. Now Uncle Sam, his business ain't good no more. Cause now I can go shop with Master. It's crazy. Yeah. Tell me that's not crazy. So now we look at the decline of black business, because now the black customers, they gone. They left. They went and started shopping with other people. Mm-hmm. So now the black business, what? They closed the doors. Now ain't no more business. It's crazy, right? Yeah. 1950, we can look it up. It's facts. We can look it up. Look at it. 60s, they took down the Jim Crow signs, and then white people business flourished. Why? Because they got a whole new source of income now. A whole new dynamic of money. So let's look at it in a different light. 1950s, 1960s, right? You got black people doing well, working, you know what I mean? Black men, city jobs, businesses, their own stores, their own barbershops, their own everything pretty much. And then they changed the dynamic, right? So then we wrap it up. So what we want to do is we want to stay in the fashion of the time before that. We want to exist and patronize and work together collectively to make those things that were going on back then. I guess like Trump would say, let's make America great again. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Kojak, for that tribute. Very inspirational. Now for the parenting roundtable, if I can have the participants, Mr. Justin, Cinnamon, Dr. Lena, and Minister Lee. If y'all come on stage.
Shoot. All right. Really underdressed. I'm okay.
Okay, so this will be a very informal discussion about parenting. What we'll do is go around, introduce ourselves, our business, and then we'll go into a couple of questions about parenting and talk about how we can improve overall parenting. Okay, so I'll start first.
Business or organization? For the road, organization.
Organization.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Amber Morgan. I'm the founder of the Sisterhood Foundation, a nonprofit organization for women and teen girls, focusing on bridging the gap in the community, mental health awareness, educational resources, and overall communication, how to improve amongst women and teen girls.
I am Cinnamon. I am the owner of Transitional Healing Arts. I am creating all natural hair care products, body products, herbal teas, different things for different ailments, just trying to help everyone live a happier, healthier life.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Lena Jackson Lynch. I am the president of LJ2 Incorporated. I have two departments, family education and professional development. Our mission is to help improve the quality of family relationships as well as office workplace relationships. I am vice president of Sisterhood with Amber.
I'm student minister Lee Muhammad of Muhammad Mosque number 52 here in Fort Worth, Texas. My business is the resurrection of the dead.
Ooh. Okay.
Mentally dead, morally dead, spiritually dead, economically dead, just dead, dead. We try to raise the conscious level of our people.
Oh, thank you.
My name is Justin Haynes. I am the vice president for the Brothers Group. We are similar to Ms. Amber's Sisterhood Group, but it's for the young men aged 17 to 24, mainly focused on mental health, professional development, college entrepreneurship, and just rebuilding the men within our community.
Thank you all very much for your introduction, and we're all rolling with our conversation on parenting. So I have a parenting package that we'll give out to everyone after we finish. So one thing to lead off of this discussion, I want to say for us to remember, for not just us but everybody that are parents, our role models and personalities guide us to a primary parenting style, and a secondary style that we tend to use when we are stressed. One of the questions we have: what do you identify as your strengths and weaknesses as a parent?
Can anybody answer?
Can anybody answer?
I can answer that easy. You say my strengths and weaknesses?
Yes.
My strength is what I love. I love the babies. Okay, I love my children. Actually, I'm a grandparent now. So when you become a grandparent, you treat your grandchildren a little differently because you learned all the lessons from raising your children, right? And so you try to do better by your grandchildren. And what I've learned that I can do better now is two things. Sacrifice more time, right? And number two, really learn to listen, okay? Because what our children are dealing with, well, what my children deal with, they didn't have to deal with what I dealt with when I was coming up, okay? And my grandchildren, they don't have to deal with what my children dealt with, okay? So it's a lot more influence out there, a lot more peer pressure. They have the cell phone in their hand. They got a whole world opened up to them, and they need somebody right there to listen and try to see where they are, instead of trying to just dictate to them where they need to go. Find out where they are through listening. So I'm getting better at that, listening and communicating with them and just spending time. You can buy them gifts, but what they really want is you. They want time. And so there would be a mistake versus what I've gotten better at with my grandchildren. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to go next? So,
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, well, okay, so I've had 13. And 13 children, and I now have 6 grandchildren, 1 on the way. And so dealing with, those born in the 90s, those born in 2000, I noticed a difference, and I noticed, of course, difference in parenting, because once you kind of learn more, as you have some more, like you said. And so I've learned, like, my gifts, I'm organized, and I am patient, but enforcing like the organization and making sure everybody else is following, that is where I fall short. So like I'll have a whole schedule, I have everything planned out, it'll work for like 2 months and it starts to fall out. So then I write a whole nother schedule and start all over. So yeah, that's where
Yeah, I can go next. So I'm a girl's dad, so I got all girls. I got 3 girls, and I know. Yeah, so 24-year-old, 16, 13, and I'm also a grandpa too. I got a 3-year-old grandson. So for me, I would say thank you.
They couldn't hear you online.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I sort of. So yeah, I'm a girl's dad. I got 3 girls. I got 24-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and I have a grandson as well, a 3-year-old. So for me, I would say the good is like Minister Lee said, as far as the time, I try to at least try to be, yeah, like in my daughter's life. So I'm like all the volleyball games, wrestling, whatever they got going on, I'm trying to be there, and even for my grandson as well. But as far as like, I guess the thing I'm lacking would be probably the discipline. And I don't know if it's because they're girls, my little baby, my little girls or whatever, so they kind of get away with whatever, so I gotta, I guess, be better on that side of things. But yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, so I have a PhD in human development and family studies. What I didn't know when I was raising my kids, I have learned with this PhD. And listening to the guests on stage, they hit it directly on the nail. Time is the most important thing for your kids, meaning individual time. And you had how many children? 13 is hard to handle, but you can do group things,
Right.
but it's finding the time for each one their own special time with mom and with dad, and of course with the group. But what really matters is the time you spend with each one individually. That's what I'll end with.
Okay, and I want to chime in. I'm a mother of 3 boys, 2 biological and 1 stepson. The ages of 17, 11, and 8. And one of the things that I feel is my strength is analyzing their behavior and kind of guiding them in the right direction. My weakness will be time management. Trying to sacrifice work, organization, and then their individual time, and then a time for us to all come together. Because when I was growing up, we sat down at the table. There wasn't no cell phone. We all sat down at the table, TV off, and we interacted with each other. And trying to have that same type of structure, I really see the benefit, but it's also difficult to do when they have football, homework, somebody wants to do boxing, somebody has a job, and trying to be pulled every which way. I think that's something that I can improve on and kind of work on as a parent. Okay. The next question that I have: how are you a different parent than your parents were?
Okay.
Get me in trouble.
So my parents were very traditional for their time, where there were certain subjects that were taboo, you don't talk about. I am going all out to make sure that we talk about those. So yeah, that's how I am.
Okay, I'm different with helping my kids understand that education is very important. My dad had a third grade education. He stuttered, and so he didn't speak well with us. And so I made it my goal to get more education so that I could do better. Um, I believe that education is that there's nothing more important than education, and I'll leave it at that.
There's a book called The Jewish Phenomenon, right? And it shows how Jewish people are at the top of the wealth chain and pretty much every other walk of life, okay? But anyway, there's one chapter in there that talks about how they believe education is portable and that means that basically when school is out, their children come home, they debrief them, they take them to the synagogue, and they'll still continue to educate them, okay? So education takes place anytime, anywhere. And so I would say the difference between me and my parents is that, you know, I expose my children to more knowledge and information and encourage them to read and study and learn from different people in all walks of life. Just try to give them that space to grow, right? And to have any kind of conversation they want to have. We can talk about anything on the light of the sun, right? And to guide them. But ultimately, in the end, they have to learn for themselves, study for themselves, and make their own decisions.
Yeah, for me, my mom, I was raised by a single mother, but she was let's say I would say she would give you like the shirt off her back. You know, she was really nice and really kind. So I know I get a lot of that from her, like giving like your last. But as far as for me, like raising my daughters, like as a man, like I didn't really get that part. So I guess for that, like I guess trying to do what I would think, like I want if I did have a father in my life, so I'm trying to do like what I would do, I guess for my daughters pretty much. So as far as my daughters, just like we said earlier, like being there for them, different things that they have going on or whatever, even like not enforcing, but like encouraging, like higher education and what else. And then just trying to enforce it more like them being good people, good towards each other, towards family, things like that. Trying to enforce those type of things pretty much.
Okay, and I would add to that, honestly, on the lines of what Mr. Lee said about exposure. I'm a little bit different with that. My mom kind of kept us a little bit sheltered, and we were only able to watch things that were age appropriate, do things that were age appropriate, and it was warranted at that time, but now some of they're exposed to anything. So I would rather be the one to tell them the truth and expose them before they get it outside of the home. And we talk about that and explain that. So that's one way that I'm different, because growing up, my mom was like, well, that's, you stay in a child's place and you learn what you need to learn at that time. But now with my kids, as soon as they come home and they see something on TV or they see something at school, we're going to talk about it, whether it's good, bad, or whatever the case may be. We're going to talk about it and break down what you need to know about it. So that's one thing that is different. Next question. What behaviors would you most like to change as a parent?
Psychotherapy.
Well, now, as I look back, again, I am not a parent right now. My kids are in their 30s. But for parents in the audience and online, if I could go back and make some changes, I know that I focused on travel a lot. I wanted my kids to be able to travel without me, know how to do it, know what to do, know where to go. I might not have spent as much time traveling as I would have spent doing things like nonprofits. Looking back, I would have liked to have gotten them into nonprofits that help the community. I was in the military, so we traveled a lot. We lived in a lot of different places. Sometimes we weren't there long. And as soon as you get into a something, then it's time for me to go, or it's time for me to take a short temporary duty somewhere. So I would go, if I could go back, that is what I would instill in my kids, to be a part of nonprofit organizations in the community.
Hmm.
All right, I gave y'all time to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, my children are, yeah, my children pretty much grown. My youngest daughter, she just graduated. She still lives with us. The rest of them are grown on their own. But I realize that your children will always be your children, and they need you more when they get out into the world when they ever needed you. So you still need to communicate with them and give them guidance, because where they're going, you've already been. That being said, you know, there's a verse in the Quran that says, seek assistance through patience and prayer. I, I, I would have, I would struggle to be a little bit more patient with my children. Okay, because sometimes when you know better, and they do things that you can't understand, it's inexplicable. You kind of get angry. but you have to count to 10, calm down, and say, okay, now let's start from the top. What happened? You know, and you have to be patient with them because they're still growing up. And as I said earlier, they're dealing with things that we didn't have to deal with coming up. You know, it's just more temptation out there, more influence out there. So I would say being more patient, not letting your anger blind you to listening and trying to understand them. You know, that I would say that would be different. And I need to lay on the couch or something.
So for me, yeah, I would, like the doctor said, I would do more individual time, you know, with each of my daughters. I know we do like a lot of activities together, like as a group, but I definitely would, you know, do more individual time. And I guess I still got a little time, but I got a 16 and 13-year-old, so I can kind of push it towards them. But also, I would say more finances as well, like financial literacy. Like push that a lot more because I know like usually they're like, Dad, I need this, I need that, and it's, you know, here you go or whatever. But I need to like, you know, enforce that a lot more, making them more, you know, literacy and like their savings, checking, you know, things like that. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so for me, there was two major changes that needed to be made within myself. One I did voluntarily, the other one was forced on me. The one that I did voluntarily was because when I first had children, I was like my parents. But my older children, we didn't talk about those things till later when I kind of learned how to teach your children. The second thing was I was too submissive in a relationship and I allowed things to happen that shouldn't have happened. And so that change was forced on me because my husband passed away. And then I sit back and look at what I allowed to go on.
And some of the same things I would say, far as having more patience with my children, and then when you are raising, I'm a boy mom. I don't have any girls. I have nieces, but there's a difference when you are raising boys versus girls, and paying attention to my own behaviors. I have to really consider that when I'm interacting with my boys, they're paying attention to my gestures, they're paying attention to my words, and I have to make sure that I explain that, you know, because mommy is doing this doesn't necessarily mean that you do this, you are a boy, and things are different. So that's something that I really have to be intentional about and focus on because boys who pay attention. We have time for one more question.
Oh,
Was it-
Yeah,
Okay.
the audience can ask questions.
Yeah, the audience want to ask the question? Okay.
How does emotional intelligence inform your parenting?
Very good question. So how does emotional intelligence influence my parenting?
Yes.
I just recently learned and became aware about how important emotional intelligence is. And so for me, I'm very, um, I like to do research. I like to understand for myself the concept before I teach my children. And so with emotional intelligence, it's very important in my parenting style, me being a woman, having boys that I'm raising, I have to not only be in tune with my own emotions, but also how to tell them how to express and deal with their emotions as boys, dealing with women, girls, and the opposite sex. So and emotional intelligence is very important for me in my parenting style. Very great question.
I want to add to Amber's point on how her sons watch her because in a family, and I'll come back to your question.
Wait.
All right. We've come so far, and families are different now than when they were years ago. The father, the mother, the son, the daughter, the children. Now, whoever takes the role in the family of the mother, whoever takes the role in the family of the father, that role comes with responsibilities. The children have responsibilities too. So, as Amber was saying, her sons watch her, that is born in boys, to watch the mom so that when they grow up, they know how to treat women. They know how to treat girls. However, they're treated in the home, they're learning all that and they're taking it out. For the girls, now, of course, the boys need mom to be mom, the nurturing type and so forth. But for the girls, they're watching dad because dad is going to teach the girls how men, boys, should treat you. That, scooting the chair up for mom or opening the door for mom or the sister, that is very important for boys. Even though we don't do it as much as we used to, that is what boys need to know how to do. And dads are there to explain and talk to them about why we do this, why you respect your mom, why you respect your dad. Comes from the parents. If the parents don't do it, it's imagine how the child will grow up without that. They're going to make their own rules, their own way in life. Whatever works, that's what they're going to do. All right, so I just wanted to add that for Amber to let you know that observation, if you watch your kids, looking back, some of the things I said, and I noticed my kids were saying the same things, we have to watch what we say. We got to watch what we do, just as Amber was saying. I have to watch myself. Parents, men, women, mom, dad, we pave the way for our kids because they're going to follow what we do. All right, so emotional intelligence. It is extremely important. I want to bring up a point that I learned about emotions. Emotions are taught to kids from babies on up. Emotions are not born in the child. We teach them. We teach them what is happiness. We got to show them our expressions, our body movements, our facial expressions. We've got to talk to them about this is what it means to be happy. This is what it means to be sad. This is what fear is. And talk about it so that as they continue to grow, they can explain some of the things that they're going through and you can understand what they're talking about. So I'll leave it at that because I spoke a lot, but I wanted to say that emotions in the family, emotional intelligence, being able to watch those body movements, facial expressions, eye movements. All of that is in emotions. Once you see some of that happening in your child or your husband or your wife, you got to stop and think, did I say something I shouldn't have? Can we talk about that? You say that to your child as well. What are you feeling right now? What is a feeling? How does that feel to you? When I say shut up, how does that feel to you? Let them explain what it feels like when that happens, so that when they're at school or at church or out and about somewhere, those things are said to them or being done to them, they can come back and explain to you what they went through. But we got to find the time, as we said recently on our panel, to listen. We don't listen, we're going to miss it. And listening is more than with your ears. It's your eyes. It's the hand movements. It's the body. It's how you hold your head. All of that is a part of listening to what is being said or done to your child. Okay?
I recently got commended, actually, from another brother who was a little bit younger than me, and he had a son, and he had me talking to his son, and he commended me on how I handled it, right, versus the way he handled it, because it got physical, right? And he commended me on how I handled it, and I was like, well, brother, I have a son, right? And I've learned in dealing with young men, you know, you have to approach them a little different than you do girls, right? When you have a girl, your whole life gonna change when you have a girl. All right. All right, you gotta put on kitten gloves and all that kind of stuff. But I learned in handling my son, this is what I told him. I said, in handling my son, you know, you gotta know when he push, you pull, right? Because there's a law in the universe called the law of cause and effect. If I start screaming, that's the cause. What's the effect gonna be, right? So if I'm emotional, then he'll get emotional, and then you have a falling out. So emotional intelligence is knowing when to recognize these emotions and how you handle it when you see it coming up, and then you have to know the art of war, right? How do you win this war without fighting, right? So it's kind of like you just gotta like my wife, she taught me about emotional intelligence like this, brother. Like if I come home and I'm angry and I get to acting a fool, she just sit there and look at me. And you see how y'all start laughing? Yeah, she just sit there and look at me. And she wait till I go through all of my little emotional cycles. And she said, okay, now what you gonna do about it? So you gotta allow them to express that, how they feel, allow them to go through that cycle, and then once they calm down, then we talk reason. So I try to do that now. I learned that late in with my children, but I do it more so with my grandchildren now. I learned that later with my children, but I do it with my children now to know that however I react, it's gonna cause an opposite and equal reaction, right? So you have to, again, patience, calm down, breathe. Breathe. Seriously, because breath regulates the emotion. In our solar plexus, that's where all the emotions get clogged up right there. And when people get emotional, they literally stop breathing. And it all gets stuck right there. So you gotta let it come out. And our young people say, I'm feeling some kind of way. Y'all heard that, right? I'm just feeling some kind of way. Well, as you said, sister, we got a whole chart. You can pinpoint exactly how you feeling.
That's right.
Right? And then come to grips with those feelings. And then manage those feelings and learn when to let go of those feelings, right? And move on to higher ground. So that's all I would say. Thank you.
So for me and my wife, I guess it's kind of complicated, but like just say as far as emotional intelligence and trying to see how to word this. So like with our grandson, he's 3 years old. So usually like just say like he may be getting away with all kind of stuff or whatever. Like I try to tell my wife as well, like like she won't really stop him until like she's actually mad. Like when she gets mad, and then like she'll fuss at him and whatever. But like for me, it's like, look, we gotta have the structure in place to begin with, So instead of like letting the kids go crazy or whatever, like we gotta make sure, okay, like don't put a stop to only when you get mad. Like let them know, okay, like this is the rules to begin with. So like even if you're mad or not, we gotta like put a stop to like whatever dysfunction that's going on, and not like when we're mad, then that's when we enforce rules and stuff like that.
Oh, I went a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so back. I went into the mosque, number 52. They were having an event, and I noticed the children, like all the young, they were children, and wow, now they're parents, and I just see, the happiness among that parenting. So I'm trying to. The church to me has a great impact on how we parent, and sometimes I look at children and I ask, what church they go to, what household they in. That's what stems me to look at and evaluate what's going on, what these different groups are doing. And I could just say, Mosque number 52, when I look at those children and those families, like they're really doing some parenting, and it's a village. How are you making that happen? And how can we get other organizations to have this discussion? Actually, my questions are both for the men. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So how can we, get this conversation talked about on a broader level? Because what happens in the parent is what's happening, is coming out into the community. And I think if you have a centralized structure of what I seen at the mosque, and how organized they were, how the children were there helping you when you get out of your car and all this kind of stuff, that tells me that there's a village, there's parenting going on, and I just want him to speak on that. And Justin, you been having young daughters, I want you to just say, I know you've learned a lot, but out of all what they're saying, what would you say? This is my takeaway. So I just have questions for the men right now.
Well, thank you for the question. Number one, training, right? Train up a child in the way it should go, and when it grows up, it won't depart from it. So you have to train the child how to respect women. The little boys, from the time they can talk and walk, you got to learn how to respect the woman. The MGT, or Muslim girls training, is called Muslim girls training because that's when you start training when they girls, right? You start training them for motherhood when they girls, right? And you have a men's class set up for the men, and we say make all men and boys join the FOI, right? So as soon as you start teaching them, you teach them, all right? The second thing is that we have a principle that says your success is my success, right? So if one of our children fail, guess what? We are responsible, right? And when you start looking at it like that, okay, like you ain't gonna mind me correcting your child when I see them out of order, right? Because all the children of mine, they see me as Uncle Lee. You understand? so I mean, I look after them like they my very own. I care about them like they're my very own, because we really have to take that. We can't make it takes a village to raise a child and turn it into a slogan. We have to really be about that and see that these are all our babies, right? And if one of us fail, we all fail. So we got to all work together to help. And sometimes I'm gonna tell you something, especially with boys. You can be telling your son something day in and day out. Day in and day out. Oh, Dad. Oh, man, you just picking on me. And then, bro, Mike, don't tell him the same thing. Yeah, that makes sense, man. Ain't that right, bro? That's Uncle Mike over there. That makes sense. So sometimes it takes another man saying the same thing, and they get it. But we have to work together and talk to them and treat them the same and teach them the same and reinforce what your parents had already taught you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more, I guess, trying to lead by example. What the doctor was saying, like, daughters, they look at the man, look at the man in their life. So like, how I treat my wife, even like she was saying, like opening the doors, and, speaking life, speaking life into my wife, things like that. So seeing a, example of a man, like how he, should treat a woman, and then also for my daughters as well, like, like getting an example from my wife as well, seeing how she treats me as well, how she takes care of the household, how she carries herself out in public, things like that. So, like as far as like I guess the examples that they need to see. And then also like just as far as the group, like the For the Brothers group, teaching the young men as well. So with them, like, trying to, Minister Lee said, like as far as, like they may not like listen to their, dads or father figures that they have in their life, but they have a group of men that they're listening to or whatever. And then even with our group, we try to like instill different things. So like the, cursing and stuff, like y'all probably saw some of the pictures and video, but we'll make them drop down and give 10 push-ups or whatever. You say the N word or you say curse words, and even like how you treat women. So like even if we have like guys that like try to stare at a woman too long or something like that, that's still 10 push-ups. So things like that. So we're gonna try to stop that mentality or whatever. But,
Oh, wow, that's good.
yeah, that's
Okay, so we have one last question to kind of wrap things up. One thing that we focus on with the Sisterhood Foundation when we're working with the girls is our own behaviors. So as the women, as we come together and create the activities and the agenda for the girls, if we can't get on the same page with the agenda and agree on how we're going to approach the girls, how can we teach and expect the girls to be on the same page if we can't get it right? So one thing about with parenting, what I've learned is that it's okay to share your experiences, what you're experiencing with other people, people in other organizations, people within your own organization, to share those experiences because we all come from different walks of life, different parenting styles, different backgrounds. And so it's okay to share those experiences. That's how you're going to learn and to help the younger generation. So my last question is, what advice would you give everyone on the stage and also everyone in the audience on the parenting, how to be a better parent and how to really embrace teaching the younger generation?
So, there's my advice would be, first patience, and then if you know that there is some, speak to someone that you know who has that, whether it's patience or whatever you feel like you're lacking, somebody, and get and learn to, incorporate it, listen, take the advice, and it takes time, so be patient with yourself, and yeah, just reach out for help.
Amber, I want to use that paperwork you have there for just a second. All right, so the advice that I would give, now that I know better, because I've had schooling, is to know your parenting style. And there are four. One, and I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm going to pass out some info to you, but I'm going to just name them. Authoritative parenting. Set clear rules and guidelines. Encourage your kids. Another one is authoritarian parenting. It enforces strict rules and expects obedience without question. The next one is permissive parenting. They're warm and nurturing, but set few boundaries. So we have to know ourselves as parents. And the last one of the four is neglective parenting, which is when we let our kids do whatever they want. And we don't question, we don't show nothing. That's a neglective parent. Now, those are the parenting styles. Know your style and be consistent. Don't be changing up. But the other part of this is know the types of parenting for yourself. And that is number one is drill sergeant. Drill sergeant, run a tight ship. We know what that means. Yes. The second one is nurturing. All right, strict but caring. The third one is inconsistent, unreliable to your own kids. You're not reliable. You're inconsistent. Crisis oriented. Whenever something pop up, oh boy, what we gonna do? We're pulling out our hair. Our kids see all of that. The fifth one is neglectful. Mm-mm. And the sixth one is balanced, which of course that is the best one. So we're gonna pass these out a little later. Amber's gonna do that, have some great information in there for you. I would leave you all with be consistent. And as we talked about earlier, find the time for each individual child. It's gonna mean so much when they grow up. They're gonna do the same thing for their own kids. Do things together, but on Sunday, Dad and I, we take a ride and we just talk about everything. That's that time for that child. Another child may like to go shopping. Dad may have to take the child shopping. Or mom spend time going shopping. That time and being consistent will have great kids when they grow up.
I would say that after what you just said, when they pass out this information, get it, read it. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us anything you want to know or learn, you can find it somewhere in a book. So if you want to make a cake and you get a recipe, grandmama's recipe, you get grandmama's recipe and they pass it on word of mouth nowadays. They don't even write it down. But if you have a recipe, then you know how to make the cake. The same thing with parenting. All right, we can learn new skills as we grow older. All right, so self-improvement, we're taught, is the basis for community development. Avail yourself to all the information you can get. Yep. And always strive to become a better person. And by being a better person, you'll be an example for your children, even when they get old and leave the house, right? Because you're not going to change anybody just based on words alone, just based on talk. You're not going to change them like that. You change them through action, and your words got to line up with your actions and be that example, and then they'll follow that example. As they see you getting better, they'll be motivated to get better, all right? So I would say self-improvement, self-analysis, look at yourself, and there's a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And the first law is the law of the leader. And the law of the leader says that no organization can go any higher than its leadership. So parents are the leaders. And if the parents ain't growing, if the parents ain't developing, if the parents ain't reading, then why you think your children don't like to read? Right? Be the example. And continue to grow. And as they watch your growth, they'll be motivated to grow along with you. Thank you.
I would say my kids, they keep me young. So with that, I would say be more understanding. Cause like Mr. Lee was saying earlier, like the kids have like the access to cell phones and all this technology, so like they're exposed to a whole different world. I know my kids teach me all kind of slang every day that I didn't know exists, So, but like, with that though, you still gotta be, like Amber was saying, like, gotta be educating. So educate them on what they, saw, what they heard, or, things like that. And then also being the example, try to, be, good person or whatever, a good, leader, community, in the community, things like that. I try to take my kids to events like this and, within the community and different areas. And then also consistency as well, like, showing up for your kids, make sure like, once a year or whatever the case is, but showing up consistently. And and this, you make sure you have some kind of structure in place as well, And yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, that concludes our parenting roundtable discussion. Can you give everybody a round of applause for participating? Thank you all for your great advice and your words of wisdom, and let's keep this celebration continuing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. Dottie, you owe me free chips.
Okay, the next part of our celebration of 817, we're going to introduce the business owners. Donna, you have a certain order you want to go in? Okay.
She take me out my shit. So at this time, we're gonna start introducing our Black-owned businesses that we have participating in the Black Star Business Expo today. Yesterday, we had about 12 vendors. Today, we have roughly about 9. So the first one, I don't see her. Oh, there she is. We have Jay's Finest Creation. If you can give us some information regarding your business, how we can find you. It's for us here and also for those that may be listening online. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Jackson. I'm the founder of Jay's Finest Creation. We have women's business attire and purses, and we're located in Arlington, Texas. Texas, right? You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Jay's Finest Creation. So come check us out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you can also include the history behind your business if you'd like to share that with us as well. Just give a brief history regarding your business. The next business we have is Transitional Healing Arts. Sister Cinnamon. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Cinnamon, owner of Transitional Healing Arts. Transitional Healing Arts is about natural health and healing, spiritual, physical, mental healing. I have several products like skincare. I make herbal teas. I make salves. I make things for. I make a salve for varicose veins. I have like anti-inflammation teas, things like that. I am also an author, and I put together an anthology book called Grandma's Secrets. Grandma's Secrets is all about those remedies and recipes, relationship advice, child rearing advice that came from grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, or stuff that we've learned on our own. I have about 30 authors who have put stories into the book. So check it out. Grandma's Secrets is on Amazon. It's also on my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is transitionalhealing.etsy.com. Another thing, speaking of parenting, I have a patent for baby gloves that stop babies from picking up things off the floor and putting them in their mouth. I brought some of these gloves here today. I would like to give them out. And if you are watching this, you can contact me on Etsy, on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Grandma's Secrets and Grandpa's Wisdom. I also have a Facebook page. It's called crawlers.usa on Facebook. Just send me a message. I will give you a pair of gloves. All I ask for in return, I would love to get some pictures of the baby or videos of the baby wearing the gloves, using the gloves, so that I can put up a Kickstarter to get these gloves available for babies all across the world. So, yeah, I got several projects going on, but if you contact me on any of them, I'd be happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Give it up for Sister Cinnamon, Transitional Healing Arts. The next business we have is B6 or BGA. BGA. Yeah. Trying to read handwriting. Now we see how important our Black businesses are. Black man.
Don't let her energy fool you. She is a high energy person.
We said B6. I need some BG. BGA.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Shawana. I am the owner and creator of BGA Apparel, which means Black Gifted and Amazing, or Blessed Gifted and Amazing, or Brown. We don't discriminate. But I started it about 5 years ago for my son. Just want to create something for him to be proud of, for him to own and walk in his own greatness. And just to give you a background, I have a degree in graphic design, and I run a screen print company here in Fort Worth. And so creating and designing everybody else's line, I was like, I can do something for myself, do something for my child. And when I started to create things, people were, where'd you get that from? I like that. So I was like, you might actually have something here. So that's how it was birthed. Like I said, I do manage a screen print company in Fort Worth on the south side. So we embroider, screen print, and do everything in-house. So if any of you need any material or just shirts or anything like that for your own businesses or family reunions, I'm available for that as well. But like I said, it's just something for us to remind ourselves who we are, walk in our greatness and celebrate who we are without offending anybody. And so you could be pro-Black and anti-no one. So it's not about separation. It's just about me celebrating. So you can find me on, well, the website is www.bgamazing. And then on Instagram, it is bgamazing. And then on Facebook, it's Be Gifted Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Samaya's Bakery.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omari Muhammad. I'm here on behalf of Samaya's Bakery, which is created after my daughter Samaya, who is 2 years old. But we created this bakery to pay her college. It's basically for her college fund, and then when she gets older, she always gonna have a business. You can find us on Samaya's Bakery on Facebook and Instagram, and everything that we have is made from scratch. And also, my wife just graduated with her pastry chef's certificate. So, thank you very much. Oh, let me.
So next we have, after Samaya's Bakery, we have Sisterhood Foundation.
Okay, I'm just going to give a brief description about what we're doing in the community. Sisterhood Foundation has been in business since 2022. We started out with just women, and then we opened up our programs for girls. We took 10 girls to Prairie View University for a college tour free of charge. We went down there July 13th. We toured the college, and we did activities to bridge the gap in the community with the girls, teaching them effective communication and how to express their feelings. And last year, we took 8 girls to Xavier University, giving them exposure to the city of New Orleans and just exposing them to Xavier University. One of the girls was accepted into Xavier University this year. And so to pride ourselves on giving back to the community with our community event Sister Sunday, which is held here at the Dock Bookshop every third Sunday. Each Sunday we talk about domestic violence, parenting, we talk about mental health awareness, and our upcoming charity event on August 30th is a charity auction that all of the funds that we raise will go back into the community. We're taking another college tour next summer. We'll be going to Texas Southern University to kind of get the girls thinking about HBCUs and the importance of giving back to our community to help the girls in their future endeavors. And so you can reach us on, we have our Facebook page, Sisterhood Foundation, and we also have an Instagram and a TikTok page, Sisterhood Foundation, and our website is www.sisterhooddfw.org. You can reach us there. We have ways to sign up as volunteers, different activities that you can engage with the Sisterhood Foundation. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sisterhood Foundation. Next, we have Muhammad Moss number 52.
Oh, y'all give it up. Y'all do better than that.
Well, y'all working me today, boy. I just got through teaching for an hour and 35 minutes. Huh? You don't complain, huh? Okay. He gonna let me go through my emotional cycle right there. But no, as I said earlier, my 52 is the local branch of our headquarters out of Chicago, Mont Marion, and it is dedicated to the re-education and retraining of the black man and black woman here in North America. Okay, we are into the resurrection of the dead. We are mentally dead people because we are the only people that you actually have to teach unity to. And my brother Kojak, he started talking about unity. We're the only people you gotta teach that to. Unity, unite, do for self. You don't have to tell nobody else to do that. Why? Because we mentally dead, right? So we need to be resurrected. Like we need to be raised in consciousness. And so we have a bookstore, specialized bookstore, store.finalcall.com. You can go there, you get all the lectures from Mr. Farrakhan, the books that we read, secret relationship between blacks and Jews. And yesterday we had a table and we had a book called Justifiable Homicide. Okay, Black Youth in Peril. Okay, you need to get that because as you see in Washington, they're deploying the troops now. Mr. Farrakhan been warning that that's going to happen for years. Okay, in a so-called crackdown on crime, which is really a attack against black youth. All right, so we had that book. I don't know what we have today, but well, stop by the mosque. We're on 2401 Scott Avenue. We meet Sundays at 10 a.m., Wednesday night at 7:30, Friday night study group at 7:30, and then men's classes Monday night, women classes Saturday morning. That's it? Yes. I'm good? I get something else free? We're done here. All right, praise the Lord.
Thank you. Next, we have for the brothers. For the brothers.
Sorry. I didn't know what this. I was sitting there shopping.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah, so my name is Justin Hanks. I am the co-founder and vice president of For the Brothers. For the Brothers Group, we just recently did our college, what was it? Our college prep. I guess we call it college prep. Back to school. Yeah, thank you, Amber. We did our back to school college prep. So what we did was we nominated six young men and women, mainly through MBK, MSK program with Mr. Ricky Clark and also Amber's Sisterhood. So the 6 candidates, we gave each one of them microwaves, refrigerators. We had laptops. We also had like a back to school type thing it's mostly for their dorms. So like most of the students, first time college students, some were already in college. And then also we did a couple other things. So we did like the men's retreat every year. So our third year doing it. We went to Atlanta. We had 20 total guys. So we fully funded a lot of the guys within the Fort Worth area. We went to Atlanta. We went to the like HBCU tour. And what else? We had we call our men's sessions. So each morning we had a private chef come, but we did different talks and things like that as far as like empowering and building men, better men within the community. And then also our group also focuses like I said between 17 and 24-year-old men and just rebuilding the young men, professional development side, education, mental health, and things like that. So yeah, thank you everyone. I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you all for your patience. Again, we only have a couple more. I don't know if they're gonna make it over here in time, but just wanted to make a short announcement that we do have Supreme sandwiches, soups, and salads over there, a food truck. So feel free to go over and patronize our food truck with healthy foods. Next, we have 720X. Yeah, DJ.
Yes, sir. Give it up for DJ, man.
All right. Who put my name on the ring? So yeah, peace everybody. I just came up here just to kind of hang out. Much of stuff I do, I pretty much help everybody, right? So if you got something going on, you need help with the bookstore, Sisterhood Foundation, doesn't matter.
send them on. I said, what do you do with help? I have a free university, so I teach for free. Anything you want to learn, you want to learn acting, script writing, carpentry, whatever you want to learn, I'm going to teach for free. Only thing I charge for is DJ class lesson. Other than that, I'm just here to make you guys sign. And but if we sign together, there's not that much place up for evil to hide, right? All of us sign the Bible at the same time, so. Hey, I don't like your sign, everybody sign, so I just want everybody to sign and be 100% for Kojak. But I want Marcus Garvey. You can't mention Marcus Garvey without Hubert Henry Harrison. So when he was up in New York, that was the person that he would go out and listen to that would be up on the platform. So that's kind of he got his way of actually speaking out too. So look up Hubert Henry Harrison too. I always got to mention them two together, man, because you know. Other than that, bookstore, on Tuesdays, is that, down over there, do directing, it's like, hey, move over here, okay, it's not bad. Yeah, so if you're not sure, on Tuesdays, we do open mics up here. Right now, we're doing a residency, so you have already met this, the current resident is Kojak here, he's doing a residency right now on Tuesday night, so come out, he got open mic. Live bands, man, this thing has going on. If you wasn't here last week, they had a lot of everything going on. So on Tuesday night by 7 o'clock, we'll get in here started. So I'll be at few events everybody mentioned there. I'll be at some of them. The charity, I'll be out there bringing some music out, some of the men talk. So if you need some help with something, that's why that's why I showed up today. I was like, man, Don, y'all need some help. They're like, what you doing here? Anyway.
Thank you. And last and certainly not least, we have the Dot Bookshop. Please give us the history. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out today. Wow, this is the second day of our first Black Star Business Expo. I heard they want to continue this throughout the year, so I guess our team is going to be discussing that, right? I don't know. So, but first I wanted to say the Dot Bookshop has been in this community for 17 years, and so we are a true. It was a labor of love, you know. It's a lot of dynamics in being a bookstore owner, and I even learned more about how that is happening across the country. I had the experience to be at a Black Lit weekend, and that is that's why I couldn't be here yesterday, because I was at the Black Bookstore Lit weekend. And it's so many Black booksellers across the country that are having the similar experience and they're having successes. But we have learned that it's so important for us to band together to deal with the industry and confront some of the different dynamics. And so we came together and we did just that in Jersey. I went to some phenomenal bookstores on the East Coast and learned some phenomenal sisters that are doing great things. And I've seen great things, even, you know, from the art murals that were in Jersey and the history behind that and legacy. And those are relationships that I think we can build together. And I was talking to the sister and she wants to get involved with what we got going in Texas, because there's some great things coming in 2026 and we need to be stronger together. I did bring excellent job, Kojak. Is he?
Yeah, he listening good.
Okay. Thank you for covering Marcus Garvey. It is his birthday today. So 138 years later, you know, he still has some very important principles. And I bought up a couple of books, and one of those is Message to the People. And I picked this particular page because Minister Lee Muhammad is here, and I thought he might have got a kick out of this passage that I'm going to read real quick. I'm just going to do it real quick, if you guys. You know, this is a bookstore, so we got to read.
Yes, ma'am.
138 years later, I felt led to read, and I just popped it open. And so that means he's with us this day.
In the world,
and yes. And what I popped open was how to read. He had a section, Message to the People, how to read. Use every spare minute you have in reading.
Come on.
If you are going on a journey that would take you an hour, carry something with you to read for that hour
Right.
until you have reached the place.
Right.
If you are sitting down waiting for something or somebody, have something in your pocket to read until that person comes. Don't waste time. Anytime you think you have to waste, put it in reading something. Carry with you a small pocket dictionary and study guide while waiting or traveling, or a small pocket volume on some particular subject. Read through it at least one book every week. Excuse me, I'm going to read it. Read through at least one book every week, separate and distinct from your newspaper and journals. Wow. It will mean that at the end of 1 year, you will have read 52 different subjects. After 5 years, you would have read over 250 books. You may be considered then a well-read man or a well-read woman, and there will be a great difference between you and the person who has not read one book. You will be considered intelligent, and the other person will be considered ignorant. You and that person, therefore, will be living in two different worlds. One, the world of ignorance, and the other, the world of intelligence. Never forget that intelligence rules the world, ignorance carries the burden. Therefore, remove as far away from ignorance as possible and seek as much as possible to be intelligent. So this is over 100 years later. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's writing on this level. So I did want to just point out some books for Marcus Garvey Day. And this is another one. His son wrote this book, Justice for Garvey, and we had the honor of being a part of that movement for the exoneration of Marcus Garvey. It was such a great journey, and to put us on a platform with another bookstore on the East Coast, Mahogany Books. Baba Coates felt that bookstores were so important, they continued and hold the culture. And so he took what he felt was two of the strongest Black bookstores at that particular time to come together and host this panel discussion. But there's a lot of strong bookstores. So let me just say that just in that particular space and that similar age and everything. So we were able to lead that conversation, and I'm telling you, we were working with international organizations in the Caribbean and across the country, and we met some tremendous people. So if you get a chance, I won't talk about it a lot because there's a lot to it. It's a lot to unpack. But if you can look at it and understand why we needed the exoneration of Marcus Garvey, which did occur this year. And I'm happy it occurred this year because it was for the 100th centennial celebration of Malcolm X. And that's one thing we could say that we had some success in is the exoneration of Marcus Garvey. And I had some other books. I know we did parenting today, and Dr. Lena did not talk about this book, but her and Amber got a book that's called Listen Up. And so it's a teen's guide to overcoming life's greatest obstacles. So, I think that paired up with our parenting discussion that happened earlier. So if you can get some of these books or check some of these books out, that'd be great. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Don, you're forever grateful for you. We missed one. Amber, we missed one. We have Jamil Muhammad, who will introduce his business.
I read it. Y'all get up with me. Yo, so you're up in there.
Let us know what age you were when y'all started those.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Peace, family. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jamil Muhammad. I've been in business for 9 years. I own a brick and mortar shoe store. I've been selling shoes and restoring shoes for about 10 years total. I'll be honest, 10 years total. Had my shoe store for 5 years. And
Smile, you're on camera.
so, yeah, me and my brothers, we started it when I was in 8th grade. I started customizing and restoring shoes. And from there, we started with a sneaker show. Then we went from a sneaker show to owning our own store. and we've been doing that. We had a total of 3 locations. But we also now inside of our bookstore has opened up doing a lot of community work. We've been doing a book club where we bring in brothers that comes from Kimball Road and different organizations that we come in and we talk about the book Justifiable Homicide by the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. And yeah, we sell shoes, and you can follow me on Instagram at He Don't Feed Footwear. And also my website is hedon'tfeedfootwear.com. And if you need any business advice, you can come to me at any time. You can reach out to me on my personal Instagram at J_the truth with 2 H's, and I'll give you some business advice. And I'm also coming out with a business course. So if anybody have any questions about growing it, scaling their business, growing their business as far as their marketing, anything you're trying to reach more people, because it's a lot of things that over the years I have learned that we as a people don't really do in our business, and we get so stagnant, and it causes us to be way behind and not be able to come up to the modern terms and the things that's going on. So that's what I'll say. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of our Black businesses for participating today and this weekend. So at this time, we're just gonna do a break. This is gonna be a break. We're doing a meet and greet and also walk around and visit our vendors and shop.